Do you know what you're doing though? Do you feel like you know what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else, Simon?
Do you have any wet wipes on your hands?
What's going on?
I know, we're getting hot. Are you blushing? Might be a live.
You got chewing gum on me. You can blow your nose off.
Sure, for that the camera, that was smooth.
Hi guys, welcome to Derby Debates. Today we'll be discussing the music industry in Derby. Does it have what the local upcoming artists need in order to be successful in the industry? Today I've got a panel of 4 people with me to discuss what's available to them and their experiences within the music industry so far. So if you can all introduce yourself.
Thanks for having us. Giovanni.
I'm Linkz. Loue, Marc. Feurtado.
Perfect. Right, so let's get this debate started. Who wants to start off? So who's been in the industry the longest?
Well, I am the oldest one here out of us.
I didn't really want to say that out loud, but you know. Right, so do you want to start where you began and what you feel you've used and utilised?
I mean, originally I started, on the parks, on the streets, a long time ago when I was younger. Since then I went behind scenes more, making beats, producing the music, singer-songwriting for artists, etc, etc. And it's only recently then that I've decided to come in front of the camera instead of behind the camera. I've released a couple of tracks, one that's currently in the UK charts, so that's a little bit about my background.
Fantastic. And did you find the facilities available in Derby to produce your music, to create your music videos?
So I'm homegrown, so a lot of my producing was done in my home. I've got a home studio.
Okay.
A lot of artists that I've worked with have come to my home. So for me, I mean, don't get me wrong, the tracks that I release, I do pay to go see engineers at professional studios to get that quality. But yeah, in regards to support bubble, I mean, BBC Radio Derby is always nice to be, to get played on those platforms, but it's not an international radio. So I don't feel like you're getting the exposure that you really should be getting when you are on a radio. And I feel for me that's the next step, is to get international as opposed to local.
Okay. Has anyone else been on radio, on BBC Radio?
No. I was
Okay.
on the BBC, introduced them before, a couple of times on there actually.
Okay, and how did you find that? Do you think that kind of put you into a better position? Do you think it gave you a larger audience?
Not too much. I don't feel like the people that really listen to radio as much anymore are kind of the people that use are on social media as much. So the audience, I think it's a bit of a separate audience. So maybe to a little bit of an older crowd, I might have had a bit more of an audience. But yeah,
I find that the genres are slightly different on local radio.
Yeah, definitely.
If you got that indie vibe, you got a bit more of a band behind you, and you've got that rock vibe to you. I think they'll support you that little bit more.
Okay.
Whereas when we're coming from, I mean, I can most likely speak for these guys as well. They're coming from that street vibe. I don't think local radio does support it as much.
Okay, so out of interest, when was the last time any of you guys tuned into the local Derby radio?
To be fair, I listen to it here and there, and that's only because I know that they've played my track on it.
Okay, so for that purpose only, and the rest of you guys, is it your
No.
number one radio station in your car?
The
No?
only time I put the radio on is if I'm in the car. But
Yeah.
I don't drive. I don't listen to the radio. To be fair.
Okay.
The only time I listen is if there's an artist that I know is on the radio, just support them.
Yeah.
But other than that, not really.
Yeah, it's that 3-minute
Yeah,
slide.
it's
Yeah.
like use Spotify and stuff like that. That's the new stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but we talk about Derby radio as something you've not really ever tuned into, but your Capital Extra, your Radio 1, would that be something that you would be playing, and why would you be playing that as opposed to the BBC radio?
It's just trending stuff.
Yeah.
It's like on Spotify, so trying to find new music, you go into the trending section, which is just the same with the radio. Like obviously big names like BBC Extra, they just come straight to your mind, and then it's essentially like pressing shuffle. You get me? You can just put it on, just have it in the background. You don't even need to worry about what you're listening to. It's just there. So that's the only time it's really there, to be honest.
Yeah, or watch you're at like a workplace, something commercial like that.
Someone
just
else
fill up the
playing it
sound.
might be the only time I
definitely.
hear radio
Yeah,
as a whole,
literally.
really, but
Yeah.
they're more like to play like the more mainstream stations.
Okay, so really, if we go back to the initial subject about supporting Derby, we don't feel that the local radio station does support your genre of music as much as it probably should do then, because we feel maybe if there was more of the genre of music that you guys would be creating was played on the local radio station, it will give you a wider audience for Derby, and you would actually tune in if you knew more of your type of music was played on there.
Yeah, I get it.
I feel like the radio is more like it's popping music, so like the indie stuff is more mainstream, whereas the trap, drill, whatever you lot make, it's not really as relatable to the wider audience, so they won't play it as much. Whereas if you got an indie song that's a wide audience, you can play that in. It's not got any swear words in it. You can play it in a lot more environments, and it does a lot better. So
it's all about the audience. It's not really about the music, to be honest. I don't think the radio can. I think they're just doing what they're doing. Like, I don't think they can do much to help with our type of music, because realistically it is audience. Like,
just need to find what works for your audience and like your type of sound.
Yeah.
And then try and pinpoint that and go down that route instead of Derby Radio 1, which ain't as targeted towards us, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And when we talk about platforms then, so we're kind of saying that the radio is not necessarily the best platform for your type of genre of music. So what platforms do you guys feel that you're most successful on, that you've been getting the most sort of followers, views and connecting with the most?
TikTok. I scream it 100 times.
It's been Spotify more than anything, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I feel like on Spotify is the one you go to, and then you can add songs to the playlist. Like, that's the final step, I think. YouTube is the second step, or TikTok is the first step. So it's 1, 2, 3. TikTok, YouTube, and then Spotify. Because, you could blow up on TikTok. Like, you don't even need to think about blowing up on TikTok. It just happens. Yeah, 100%. Millions of views, and then all of a sudden people are screaming your lyrics. Like, that's when you're forced to drop a music video.
I still think Instagram's got power, but
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna say that.
I do think TikTok is.
I feel like TikTok is like the first step for marketing, innit? Like, you want to market your song, get it trending, and then if you got a music video, that's when they go onto YouTube. And then the final step, like you said, they add it to a playlist, which then just gets recycled in the system, and that's when you add the views and stuff. So yeah.
They all connect though.
Yeah, I feel like Instagram is the best way to actually like reach out to artists, managers, managers, record labels, and actually grow your platform. Like, you can make your own platform on Instagram a lot easier than you can do on YouTube or whatever, because people don't like on YouTube. You can't show your personality as much. You can only put what your product is out there, whereas on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat,
Twitter as well.
It's like a portfolio. You're building it up. Like,
literally.
The second you click on someone's name, from the profile picture to the first 3 posts, like, it's all there.
That's the first thing that they see.
Get me? That's mad. I never deeped it in that way.
Yeah, for real.
So like, you're building like your own music CV on Instagram.
Yeah, it's like your first impression, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cold. That's cold.
First impressions are big, man.
Yeah.
Instagram's really good for that.
So social's kind of the way forward is what we're saying. And do you guys feel that, obviously all being from Derby, whether originally or currently living, do you feel that you're getting enough support from the community of Derby? Do you feel that your followers, your friends, are they from Derby, or are you kind of 90% of them are from a completely different region?
Bit all over, but I feel like you gotta earn it, innit? You can't just spot me, I'm in Derby too, like, fuck that, man.
For me personally, I've got a couple of local DJs that play my tracks in clubs in Derby, but there's only a certain amount of venues that play them. And sometimes it's
and what venues are they?
So I've been playing Distillery, the Mixing House, and I think that's probably about it at the minute in Derby, because there's not many other venues that would be willing to play my type of music.
And is that the venue or the DJ that's been booked?
No. So obviously these guys play my music, period. That DJ plays my tracks.
Okay.
So due to the, like you say, the swearing and everything else that are in, these type of songs, there's only a certain amount of DJs that will play them in a mainstream environment, unless you obviously hire it out, like you're saying, you put on your own event.
Yeah.
To have it just playing in a nightclub on a normal night, I don't feel like a lot of DJs feel safe to even do it without potentially risking their their reputation within the venue.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Completely.
So,
It's hard because a lot of these DJs, they kind of just play what the people like kind of want to like what they're familiar with and what they want to hear. So
Yeah.
it's up to the artist to kind of make to kind of help through. But it wouldn't be obviously it wouldn't be cool if they were playing a bit more local songs.
Yeah.
You know why though? I feel like the DJ's job is to provide music to the people that are obviously
keep
in the
them
audience.
dancing like that, you know what I mean?
Obviously, if they're playing songs that people don't know and stuff like that,
So
the vibe ain't gonna be the same.
They want to sing along.
Yeah, they might not get booked again because the audience ain't getting vibey. Like it's not hitting. Whereas known songs, everyone knows them. You're in the club, venue, bar, wherever it is, people know those songs. So it's a lot more like the vibe is a lot more. Do you get me? Like intact. Whereas if you play songs that people don't know, it's not going to be hitting the same.
I don't think they get to really pick and choose what songs they play. They just go off the vibe, and then because I'm guessing they do work behind. I don't really know how a DJ works, but I know behind the scenes that which song goes after which. So I don't think they really look at who they're playing. They just go off the vibe. You get me? So I don't know with DJs and venues. I don't really understand that stuff. So you were saying.
So to be fair, like I've performed at some local venue. I performed at Marley's as well.
What problems
Marley's
did you face
played my
there?
tunes. So for me personally, like a DJ has to feel comfortable and safe to play that track.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Where they're not going to get any backlash from the management of the venue itself.
Yeah.
If you was to hire out and put on your own event, me personally, you can play whatever tunes you want. As long as you're putting it on the fly and people know what they're walking into, it doesn't really matter. But to actually be played in a mainstream eyesight, so to speak, you've got to ensure it's relatable, like you say, the language, all those sort of things is what's going to prevent that from not getting played at all. Because no DJ is going to put their reputation on the line.
Yeah. So you know how you were saying that you were getting played by the DJ. Did you know the DJ that was playing your song?
So one of them
Yeah.
I knew, but the other one I had no idea
That's sick, yeah.
until obviously I walked in the venue, played my track, introduced myself. This is my track, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's tricky, man. For me personally, I think it's tricky because I try to adapt myself to that little bit, to be a little bit more mainstream. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, I've got a track currently in the Irish and UK charts. I purposely made that track commercialised so it could get played in mainstream nightclubs and stuff like that. And even then, it's still difficult to get the exposure.
Yeah. Well, I think when it comes to obviously exposure and having that sort of mainstream feel, we're talking kind of all over the UK. We're saying that everyone has to kind of sort of fit a bill. But if we look at like sort of your favourite artists that are big now that are out there, I know you mentioned TikTok. I know like a lot of artists have come off TikTok, and literally Central C, people like that literally started off TikTok. So is that kind of encouraging all of you guys to sort of think, I've got no other route other than that route, or do you still look and try and look at other opportunities in Derby, and you think, you know what, I've just got to do my own TikTok, there's not really anything else around? Or are the places that you go to in Derby right now that actually give you some encouragement that you're in the right place, you're doing the right thing?
Yeah, I get you, because like the way I see TikTok is free. Like it's a tool that everyone has. Like you can download it, you've got it. Like especially if you have a good camera. That's what I did with my phone. Like I bought my phone to upgrade my camera, knowing that I'm gonna make TikToks, because that's what you need. Like to hand. Like that's the bare minimum nowadays. That you need to at least get some leverage on the music you make, because there's a lot of noise, and like to cut through that noise, you need to figure out some sort of way of, like, everyone's got their gimmick. Like I'm not like, take for example like Spider-Man, you can shoot webs. Like my gimmick is TikTok. I'm funny and I make music. You get me? That's the way I think about it. You've just got to like use every tool that you've got. So I don't really understand how I could personally. I don't think I can use Derby's community to help me with my music.
Okay.
Because I don't ask people or tell them about my music. I just upload it.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? And then like on TikTok, there's so many flipping countries in the world. I don't know who's liking it, who's not. So I don't know. Like I personally, like, so out of everyone, I feel like I use Derby the least with my music.
Yeah. Okay.
You get me?
So at the minute, you don't personally feel that there's something missing specifically for you more locally that could be helping you quite well. You're very much like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to be quite self-sufficient. And
it's just like I'm just not looking
independent.
For but like the help would be brilliant.
Yeah.
But I just don't feel the need to ask, because I know that everything, because everyone's busy throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like if I want to make my music, I need to make my music.
Yeah.
And if I want to push my music, I'm the only one that can push it. So it's probably a negative note, but
No, definitely. At the end of the day, everyone's got their own way of getting
Yeah,
into it,
definitely.
and I think everyone's, again, from this conversation, you've all gone down different routes or going down different routes with your music. But just again, going back to the way that we're actually releasing music and the opportunities we've got. Obviously, you've got your TikTok, which is great, but when it comes to producing, I know you said you've got your own studio. Have you had local Derby artists coming into your studio? If not, what studio do you guys actually go to? Is it in Derby that you guys produce music? So we can just talk about that.
I mean, me personally, obviously, I'm sure everyone's heard of me. I go to Buzzer.
Yeah.
So Buzz is my main man. That's who I trust to get that quality that I'm looking for. In regards to my home studio, I've worked with people like Blaze. I don't know if you know who Blaze was. He originally was on X Factor, singer.
oh,
He's-
mad.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically where I'm coming from. I've worked with obviously loads of different artists, local artists. Carnage, people like Carnage is vocal on one of my tracks. And obviously that I've got Kieran UK. He's vocal to some of my tracks as well. But yeah, there's various different artists that are vocal to some of my tracks at my home studio. But for that quality that I'm after, the mainstream quality, Buzz is the man.
Okay,
Yeah.
brilliant. And the rest of you?
I work with Linkz. That's my producer. That's my engineer. He does all of that. I went into music. I've only been making music for a year, but it wouldn't be happening with the guy to my left. You get me?
Yeah.
Like it's that deep. But I didn't start making me like I was the hype man. You can see it when I speak. Like I just
You was
shout
the
and
hype man.
scream.
You was the hype
Yeah.
man.
I just like music. So one day I step in the booth. Linkz was like, "What are you doing? You're screaming too much. Get in the booth now." And I made a track. It was dead. It was so bad. But we kept on
Start off
hustling.
somewhere.
Yeah,
really.
exactly. But like
Everyone starts off.
he's like, we're friends. Like we're very
Yeah,
good friends.
yeah,
You
yeah,
get me? So
yeah.
like it just went from a stop messing around, get in the booth to yo, we could be serious about this music,
Yeah.
you know. But like it wasn't really
Especially
forced,
when
was
you
it?
no, definitely not.
It
But
just happened.
when you get in the studio, you make your first track, whatever. You don't really like think much of it, but then when you make that track that you actually mess with and like you're like, yo, this is
cool.
This is
Yeah.
sick stuff. You just say like, yeah, it gives you that motivation to
Yeah.
actually keep doing what you're doing, stay on what you're doing, and slowly but surely you'll find your sound, find who you can connect with, find your audience, and then it just builds from there. You get confident, you do whatever you want. You go to bars, open mic nights, develop the confidence to get on the mic, blah blah blah. Like it just all comes with time.
But also because like you were already in the music, like you knew what you were doing, but you weren't perfect with it.
no,
So
definitely.
like because I was very fresh, like I was able to develop myself, and then I had so much time to give for him to practice on his
Yeah.
craft as well.
Yeah.
So like we go hand in hand. You get me?
Yeah.
So yeah, like he
So
produced all of my tracks,
Yeah, definitely.
all of them.
Yeah.
So when it comes to obviously connecting then, so you can't produce without an artist, you can't be an artist without a producer, you can't be producing without a studio. So do you think Derby's got the relevant facilities for you guys to actually find each other and link up with each other? And you know, as I say, you were mates. I mean, how did you find Bazza? I mean, who are you connecting with?
Is minimal.
Bazza's
It's
the one,
minimal,
man.
and everyone's
Bazza's the
quite
best.
clicky in regards to.
I think that works in a good way, like
Independent.
in Derby, because like for me, I make all my own beats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like it's kind of like fight or flight. Like
Yeah.
you can either do it yourself or you can just be like, oh, there's not enough connectivity. I do think there is a lot of connections going on there across Derby because it's quite small. I feel like
You think everyone's kind of, it's a
I think
supportive.
everyone's quite close.
It's a tricky
Yeah.
one. Tricky one for me because if you're not in a circle, then you're not going to be within that clique.
I
Do you know what I
agree
mean?
with that.
Yeah, and nowadays it's a young man's game now. I'm obviously the older one here, and it is a younger man's game. You get a good following when you are, you know, around that age. Because maybe they can relate to it more. I don't
Yeah.
know. But if you're not within those cliques, then you are an independent artist. You're literally independent. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Until you get signed, if you're aiming to get signed. So
I feel like when you start off, it's hard because you don't know who's got what, where the plug is, where the engineer is, blah blah blah. But as you grow and you develop people, you meet new people, you're working with other people that know other people. The more that you get into it, the more connections that you build. So
And what sort of places do you find that you can network? So where have you been? Like, how did you two meet? How if any of you guys all know each other?
Yeah, no, Was that the first time we met?
Yeah, I think we've seen each other
Maybe.
before, but
I
other
saw
than that,
that
yeah.
before.
So we just met up at a cypher. We both got shouted for the cypher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen him before. Obviously, seen him do the music thing, blah blah blah. But I've never actually spoke to him,
Yeah.
connected with him. But when you go to these places and you meet other people, trade over the socials, you can actually connect with them rather than just being behind the screen saying, "Yo, do you want to come? When are you free?" Blah blah. It's not
Yeah.
actually got like a connection. Whereas now that we've been on stage together, like we've
More
spat together,
organic, innit?
yeah,
Like,
like it's you
have
actually
fun
develop
together,
a friendship, blah blah blah. But yeah,
And where was that cypher? Where was that?
it was at one Derby.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that was a good opportunity as well. Like, I feel like the opportunities in Derby, if you're not looking for them, they won't come. But if you're out there, you're developing your target audience and your fan base, and the opportunities will come to you. But you gotta go look for them at the same time.
Yeah, you can't stay inside.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't.
Gotta be
You can't.
active.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so we're saying we've got to go out, we've got to look for these opportunities, but could you look outside your front door but stay within the perimeter of Derby and still find these opportunities? So the cypher is in Derby, Baz is in Derby. Do you feel that there's anything that you have to go outside of Derby for?
Yeah, definitely networking. Because there's a
Networking,
lot of artists,
yeah.
producers.
Yeah.
Like Derby's tiny. Like it's tiny. Like after speaking to someone on the panel for the masterclass, they said, don't stay in Derby, just go to Birmingham or something just for the weekend and just see. Like he was like, you never know who you're gonna meet, even on the train, and that's so true.
Yeah.
That is deep.
Yeah.
Like you know what we did? After dropping like freestyles and stuff, like on Instagram, just fresh freestyles. Like we'll know, like we'll be like, yeah, this is gonna blow, and like maybe 2 days later, we'll just hit the club just on a random one.
Yeah.
But like obviously, we're there to have a good time. But realistically, we're actually going to show our face because we know the people that follow us, the people that we might come up on that explore page, their For You page on TikTok. Like they might have seen our face and be like, whoa, that's the guy from TikTok.
Yeah.
You get me? It's tiny little things like that. Like I've seen your face now. I never met you until today. But next time I walk past you on the strip, I'm like, yo, it's my man. You get me?
Yeah.
But like it multiplies like 4 times each time. It's cold.
And so networking outside of the city,
Yeah.
you don't feel there's enough people in bigger arenas to push your music into the mainstream and where you guys want it unless you venture out, then is that kind of
I
what
think that's more the problem. It's not that we're not connected, it's just the infrastructure isn't there to
Yeah.
do anything with that
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
There's no record labels.
there's no like,
Yeah.
we can be connected.
Okay,
but
then that's a good point.
Who's going to
That
sign
is
us?
something we are missing then, isn't
I
it?
feel like in Derby you could make music, but you wouldn't be able to push it out to the limit that to blow like that.
Yeah.
Like there's so many studios, there's so many producers, there's so many artists. You can all collab, you can all link up at the studio, blah blah blah. But after you've got that, there's so many cameramen as well. But after you've got that initial like final product, it's hard to get it out there into the right people and stuff because there's not really a record label in Derby. There's only one big page that I can think of, I'm Just Darbs. So there's not a lot of like pushing for that. But you can make music.
Anyone can make music though. Anyone can make music. It's just a matter of like investing enough. Because I feel like money can buy anything. Everything's got a price. So if you put enough money towards pushing your stuff out, but like it doesn't grow on trees.
Yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, but it doesn't grow on trees. That's the problem. That's why we're having this discussion.
Okay. Is there somewhere that do you think Derby would benefit from somewhere that's more music type of, not a youth club in any sense, but kind of a bit more where people can actually go and actually enjoy doing what they do and actually feel that they can get a bit more of a push towards
Yeah,
it?
definitely. I feel like Bunk was something that was sick back in the day, like before it stopped, just because everyone knew that was a music spot for artists and stuff like that.
The
Like,
open mic.
Yeah, the open mic, yeah.
Yeah.
like if you want to go there and perform, get some experience, that's the place to go because the top of my head, I can't think of anywhere else that does an open mic that's consistent, that I know other artists are going to be there for me to network with, to show my face there, blah blah blah. But yeah, I feel like Bunk, that was a good place.
Bunk was
Open-
lit.
yeah.
Bunk
Open
was
mic,
lit.
man. We need some more open mic nights.
But like obviously that's an alcohol bar. But like going off the vibe of that, like I don't know how to answer your question to be
Yeah.
honest.
So sorry,
Because it's
it's
really
more-
difficult to like because you'll have to force people to come.
Yeah,
And like clearly we're having this problem because people aren't coming.
yeah,
You get me?
yeah,
Like if there was this much noise that people are making saying that we need this, we'd have it. But like I feel like it's just a lack of ambition in numbers.
Yeah.
Instead of like there's plenty of people that are ambitious about music, but just not enough because of how small Derby is.
yeah. Okay.
You get me?
So just going back to what I was, again, it kind of fits in with that point, kind of ends my point on what Derby can give is, there's a lot out there. If you wanted to go and do an activity, if you wanted to go and do something, there's a lot of funding for activities to be done in Derby. But what we're saying is there's not really at the moment anywhere that's currently supporting, without you guys having to put your own hands in your pocket, to actually fund your creativity.
Yeah.
It's all about investing in yourself.
Yeah,
Getting
so-
yourself out there.
So that's something that other cities probably do have. They probably have rooms that you can go in and use free of charge that are run and funded by their cities and places that you can go to. So I think ultimately what we're saying is that to succeed and to become an artist and to actually do well and get stuff going, you do need to actually put a bit of investment into yourself.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely.
You can't get anywhere without investing in yourself first.
Yeah.
Because people are going to only invest in you when they know you're investable. If you get it,
Right.
you get it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, I feel like I didn't even know there was funding in Derby like that. Like I feel like, even what you were saying before about the mic night and stuff like that. I feel like if people won't go to that unless they know that the people who are they're going to see is actual people who they want to see. Like they're not going to go to it if they know some local artist who hasn't got a lot of following, they're not as big, they're not the music that they want to play, blah blah blah. They're not going to go to it if there's not a main headline or like someone that's known and stuff like that.
Would you think that there are enough venues that are willing to collaborate with artists? I think that's what we're saying. So do we not have enough venues that are actually willing to open the door to allow you guys to go and
You know what, there's
get
a lot,
on
you
stage?
know.
Or
I was like planning a lot of shows through the city before, and I found a lot of venues were quite open to actually letting me do a performance there,
okay,
So,
which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
So I mean, I do think there is a lot.
But you have to go out and find it, innit?
You have to find it. I'd say you just got to be proactive. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't think maybe not as much like infrastructural stuff, like they say, maybe resources from more like the council and stuff. I think there could be more of that.
yeah. So actually,
More
we need a
spaces.
more obvious place for people to actually go. Can say like bunk was. It needs to be obvious,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Okay, this is where all the artists can go on this night, this day, and we need you guys would like to see more of that.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah.
So just a venue just for that.
And would you go to watch other artists then in Derby? So would you
Yeah.
guys?
Yes. We turn that place off. You get me? Like, that's what we've been screaming to get. So I guarantee if that happens, we'll be turning up the whole spot. Because realistically, you need to get big in your city before you can get big anywhere else. You get me? So like, with that mentality, if you put that energy towards Linkz, towards me, towards everyone in this room, who can keep us quiet? You get me? Everyone, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's lit.
Yeah, well, it goes back to it's support local, isn't it? Whatever way you look at it, if we can support the local, then supporting each other is going to push us all in the right direction, isn't it? So I think that's where we're going to go with it. So just again, staying kind of on the topic of what Derby is and how it started. So can we just have a little run through and sort of going back a bit now, but how you guys all started? Was it kind of just, I know you've explained yours, but can we just talk about how sort of you got into the producing as well and where you started off? Did you go to college in Derby? Did you learn anything there, or was it just straight?
Yeah, so I started off being an artist, just writing music, that type of stuff. Eventually doing a college course, which weren't for me. I wanted to leave and I had a mentor that told me basically, she knew I was doing a bit of art, music on the side, and she goes, if you don't want to come into college, that's fine, but I want you to come to this music production class once a week on a Wednesday. Come through, if you like it, you like it. And that's where I met Prince Bazza. So that's where I met Bazza. He then took me to his studio, and that's when I learned all the like engineering and stuff behind it. So Baz is a big part in my life.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's a goat, man. He's a goat. But yeah, that's where I started off learning engineering. Now I'm doing everything for myself, from the lyrics of my music, engineering, and then producing my own stuff as well as other people's as well.
Fantastic.
So, yeah,
Brilliant.
that's me.
So what was the question again?
Just when you started in the music industry, sort of where did you start off? Did you start from a young age, or?
Yeah, I think I've been making music for years now, since I was a kid really, but similar thing to Linkz really, I was just an artist, and then I just found it quite hard to like get the type of beats I wanted, and to have someone that would just feed me beats all the time. So I started making my own beats, recording myself, recording for my friends, making beats for my friends, and then now I'm just releasing it.
Yeah. And do you think Derby's got a big enough growing scene to actually to blow at some point? Do you think Derby can
Definitely.
actually get that?
Definitely, there's a lot of attention on England right now as well. I
Yeah.
think it's a world thing with the like obviously the UK rap's bigger than it's ever been.
Yeah.
It's easier to
In
blow than it's
comparison
ever
to
been.
American, yeah.
And like, I think we're like, you know, we've got Americans doing drill, Australians doing drill. Like, we're bigger than ever.
I just think we need a gimmick, like to say that we're from Derby, because like Manny's got an accent, like everywhere's got
We've got an
something.
accent.
We're just
We've got an accent, we
barely
just, you just deny it though,
No,
don't
we're
we?
normal, bro. That's it. Everyone else is done. But I don't know, like, there's just a lot going on. I just can't. I'm trying to figure it all out in my head. Like, it's so simple. Just listen to my music. We'll all blow.
We'll all blow.
You get me? But it's just such a long story.
Well, I mean, again, saying that about the little gimmick, I know, obviously you said about the cypher, I know we had Slens who did a cypher recently, which had the
that
Liverpool
was
glow on it.
crazy.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was
again,
just
he
thinking.
used the "Hey up me duck" sort of thing.
yeah,
You know, I think some people have started recognising exactly what you said, that we need that, you need that little something about me, something about Derby. But do you feel that a lot of the Derby artists actually utilise Derby in their lyrics as well? Do you think people actually...
oh,
I
yeah.
feel like some of them do, but it depends what they're doing.
Yeah,
like,
eyes us. I know this guy's tricks.
I don't think
Yeah.
a lot of Derby artists, like, they're just like, I think they're too inspired by artists from other cities. So
Yeah.
they're not really like trying to push their own original, what makes them Derby people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like a hazy thing. What making him so big is because it was like so Liverpool Stadium, like all this kind of Liverpool slang.
Yeah.
Like how is Slen's the first guy to say "Hey, me up"?
Yeah,
on track?
exactly. He was,
We've been saying
yeah.
that here for like
Yeah.
500 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people are afraid. People are afraid to kind of push that Derby culture
Yeah.
because they think
And
it's
why do you think that is? I mean, do you guys
no
personally
one's
feel
really
afraid
cool
to?
yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just don't feel the need to,
yeah,
because I don't make music for Derby. I make music for myself.
okay.
So I'll just say whatever that comes to my mind on the day, how I'm feeling. It just depends.
I
Whatever.
think that's the gimmick thing you're talking about. Though. The easiest way to make a gimmick that's original is do something that
Yeah, exactly.
that's organic to us.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then we know this better than most people. Like
Yeah.
most people don't know "Hey, on me dog," but we know that shit. So it's like, hey, like, so it gives us that gimmick, and we've seen that's what's blown a lot of different cities up over across to England. Like last few years, every different Money, they've all had their thing, and they're all doing their slang, and do you know what I mean? Carlars, Abnars, like this is, you know what I mean? That's Birmingham. That's what they're.
That's
all
what,
about.
yeah,
And that's the thing. They're all pushing their own thing, like. That's
we need
what
to figure
Spencer's
out what
doing.
ours is then.
yeah.
Yeah, for real. Like, I'm uniting the whole country right now. I got English ballet on my face. Like, you know what I mean? This is like, you know what I mean? I've had this whole thing pulling up a ballet and shit. Like, this is kind of the same thing with all that. What they're on there really, like, kind of saying what's on
I
the
think
outside looking in, quite
Yeah.
original. Like, Australians are looking at me like, what the fuck's he doing? Why's he got an English flag on his face? Like, do you know what I mean? So I think it's about trying to look at it from a third person and be like, what would be interesting
Yeah.
for someone.
So
I
it's
was
kind of
saying to
discovering
you,
what
Gio,
that's
like,
going to be, yeah.
where you're from, you're Sri Lankan, is
Sri
it? Like,
Lankan.
you can play on that, like, who's Sri Lankan making
Yeah.
rap, like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe, that pushes me as well, bro. I don't know any other Sri Lankan rapper. I'm the first.
The first.
So realistically, I
That's
will be the
original,
first.
like.
I swear.
That's sort
You
of
could be the
shit.
first Sri Lankan Derby rapper.
Yeah, Joe, let it be.
Definitely is, 100%.
But like, I feel like it's all part of the process, though. Like,
Yeah.
you've got to, like, with music, you've just got to do it. You've just got to do it as it is. Like, you can't force it. You can't overthink it. You just got to make it. You get me?
Yeah.
And then, like, once you blow up, like, that's when you can put Derby on it.
Yeah.
Because, like, realistically, no one cares where you're from. They just care about the music you make.
Yeah.
Until you've blown up from the music you make. They're like, yo, where's he from?
Yeah.
You get me?
Mm.
That's the gimmick. That's where the gimmick comes in.
I'm just aiming
Some
for
people do it that way as well.
man. It's international.
International,
That's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Get the
Wait,
music
we
on
didn't get onto your.
Extra,
Oh yeah, we
something
did,
like
didn't we? Onto your how you started making music. Did we?
Yeah, originally I think I started off. So.
Yeah, we spoke about it at the beginning, didn't we? So,
yeah.
and do you guys feel motivated to continue your efforts to push you? And what sort of level are you at? Are you kind of at the start of where you're thinking, right, okay, the last track I did actually start making numbers and I'm succeeding constantly? Or do any of you feel, the ones that have been doing it a bit longer, feel that you had better traction in past years? Or
Yeah, so if I backtrack, there's been more venues in Derby that have actually played my music. And then now we've had this conversation, like I said, with Bonk, performed at Marley's, all that sort of thing. So for me, it's more or less, if you're known and visually seen as an artist, then you're a music artist, as simple as that. Whether you're making money from it or not. As far as I'm concerned, if you're visually seen as an artist, then you're an artist. So I guess it depends on where you're satisfied with in terms of how far you want to reach. Mine is that international route. I want to go international.
Yeah.
Whether that's from a house beat that I produce or whether that's from a track that I've heard called Grime, whatever. But that's where I'm aiming for, because
Okay.
that's where the views, that's where the following's going to come from. Local Derby just ain't got it.
Okay,
So
brilliant. And yourself?
I'm saying like 1% loaded in what I'm trying to do really.
Yeah.
You're saying like where I am in like my career type thing, but what was the question? Sorry, like what?
Just whereabouts
what-
in the journey do you feel you are? Do you feel like you're actually on the up? Do you feel like you've fell back from the lack
Definitely
of not
on the
having any
up, no,
support, or do you feel?
Definitely on the up, but still only like 1%.
Yeah.
I want to do really, but
Yeah, so you're still just trying to push for that next
still
step,
just pushing,
basically.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but again, going in the right direction.
Do you know what you're doing though? Do you feel like you know what you're doing?
Mhm.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get onto it. I feel like I
Yeah.
really judged him, but I'll get onto
No.
it once
Yeah.
it comes to my turn. Carry
Yeah, I
on.
want to hear why. I want to hear why you after.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we'll do it after. Go on, Linkz.
Yeah, for me, I feel like for me, the past couple of years has been working on engineering and producing, getting it nice to that level where I can actually produce for people to a professional level and stuff like that. So now I've got that stuff on the side, put a few years down. Now I'm working on my actual music, like working on getting the songs that I want to be known as my sound and actually putting them out there. So I'm getting there slowly, but yeah, the last few years for me I've just been getting to that level with my engineering and producing. Just gonna
Yeah.
set me up for later.
Yeah.
You
So
put
again, you feel
hours.
like you're getting what you need, and you're kind of going up and up and up. So
Yeah,
you've not
yeah,
had any,
like-
you've not had anything that stumbled you at the minute that you felt like you've had to that you fell back on, or any opportunities that you've not been
No.
able to take at the moment.
Not really. I feel like the opportunities they come, but some of them they're not right for you at the time. You get it. You gotta wait until it's the right moment for you to take that opportunity, because then you can execute it to the level that you need to get to that next level. You get it. So yeah, that's me still.
Perfect, good.
Yeah, like I don't know what I'm doing. I just make TikToks, bro. I'll be honest, like that's all I do. I wake up in the morning, see what I've got to do. If I'm scrolling on TikTok, I'll find an idea. I'll be like, yo, make a TikTok. And then maybe 2 days later, I'll be like, I feel like writing some music. I'll make a freestyle. I don't know what I'm doing. Like realistically, who does? You do.
That's
You
good
said
though.
you
I think you need a bit of that. Like you can't be too calculated, especially
Nah,
with TikTok
bro.
shit. Like you gotta
It's
just be like
scary though. Like
gotta
obviously,
be organic with it.
yeah, definitely. That's
Your
it.
thing, organic is good though. Like, that's a
Organic.
good way. But I think just because I'm doing like, cause I'm trying to like push kind of a message with what I'm doing. I think I need to kind of have. It needs to be calculated so it don't just come off as like a complete gimmick. Do you know what I mean? Because it isn't a gimmick. It's like it's art to me. I'm trying to actually say something.
Yeah. Okay.
So do you feel like you know where you're going because you've got music that you know you want to get out, or is that
Just I know artistically what the trajectory of like what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to say on this
you
project,
got the vision?
and
innit?
how I want to sell it to one,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
I want to push that.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've got a sense of direction with that, and how do you know what I mean? How this whole thing's coming together as like a whole body of work. My album, and how I'm
Piece,
using
yeah,
it,
that's sick, yeah.
how I want to sell it, and what people are going to get from it. So I guess that's what's the direction.
You look at every aspect of
I'm
it.
still not like got my calendar like you know what I mean. This summer sat with P Diddy. It's not like logged in like
Yeah.
that. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's yeah.
But I think,
Music
I mean, as well, I think obviously you guys networking, and like you said, you do network a lot, and there are a lot of places where you can network in Derby with local artists with similar interests and similar talents to you guys, who you can work with. But where do you think you get like the most, like where would you go and say, right, okay, you've released a track, you put it on your Instagram, you put it on your TikTok, whatever. Where is kind of your next step for promo, marketing? Like, do you guys use any facilities that market your reels and your TikToks?
Yeah, there's distribution sites, isn't there? So I use Ditto.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other ones that people use, but I use Ditto. Dittos allows me to see what regions of what countries have played my tracks, how many plays they've had, what funding in regards to royalties I'm making off those tracks being played, even down to the fact of how many times it's been on YouTube. So those type of things definitely help as an artist for me personally. I don't know about you guys.
I've never promoted anything. I feel like I'm actually good to be on this panel because I'm the guy that has no idea what's happening in it. I'm just going with it, swear down. Like I know there's a lot of people out there that just like to make music, have no idea what's going on. I represent every single one of them. You get me? Like you get me, bro. My energy is impeccable. You get it? Like that's just how you go off it. I swear down, bro. Like this is just how I live. This is just how I live. Like you just have to live with the energy in it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I've never really promoted anything or anything. Like,
You're very self-sufficient then. You kind
I
of
don't know.
just getting on and
Sound
just
cocky now.
no, not at all. It's interesting because, as I say, a lot of people would comment, you know, if they've not been successful in this industry.
Yeah.
Maybe older people that probably thought, you know what, I didn't have that opportunity, so I've given up. But there may be younger people that say, I'm not even going to start because I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
So do you think that is it a personal thing, or is it, you know, if Derby did have banners everywhere that said, come to this studio, come to do that, this is free, you haven't got to put your hand in your pocket? Or is it about just looking into yourself and saying, you know, I'm going to get upstairs and I'm going to get that done? So do you, in that respect?
It depends what you want to do, innit?
I think it's just personal. Well, yeah, talk on that. Why do you think it's a bit of both?
Just with like, as far as like getting music out there, I think just about having like close circle, doing a lot of connectivity. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of it, I think, is word of mouth as well. I think that's really good. But sorry, what was the question again?
Yeah, I'm just saying a lot of it is
I
down
won't do
to.
this like next time. I promise.
It's alright. I'm just saying basically, is it down to you? If someone who gave up in the industry, would you think it'd be lack of just belief in themselves, or would it be I've given up because I didn't get the spot I needed in the local community?
Definitely self-belief. That's the only thing that can make you, I don't know, quit. That's the only, not good reason, but that's the only reason I see most people quitting. Like, because I think you just have to keep going with it. Consistency. If you
Keep
give it
yourself
up,
relevant, innit?
if you give it up because you're not getting the support, I don't think you deserve it. You know what I mean? Gotta keep going. Like.
Yeah.
That was so deep.
I feel like people get to that level of not believing in themselves because they're not getting support
Exposure.
from other people. Like it's
Yeah.
that first little like, I'm not getting what I want, so should I be still investing in myself
Yeah,
to this level because it's not what I'm not getting what I want from it.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
I get it because it's not cheap. As we were saying,
Yeah,
it's not
definitely.
cheap.
No.
It's a fun music career. It's like it can be
Investment.
expensive.
It's like an actual proper, like real life
Yeah.
investment. It's not like you're gonna get this money back. Definitely guaranteed. Like you can't just watch a chart. You have to just do it
Same
blind.
crypto. Do you
That's
know
why
what I
I'm
mean?
saying,
It's
like, I don't think it's 50-50. I don't think it's like, I think it's just straight up the mindset.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
think
definitely.
I don't think there's anything more to it. Like,
yeah.
I've been down the path of overthinking it so much to the point that I'm just getting stressed out. Like, oh my god, what's my next move? What am I doing now? Like this freestyle banging, and then I had to sit down and actually talk to myself about it, like, and get it together, and think like, whatever happens. I like making music. Let's do it. You get me? So I can't agree with the both sides of
I
it.
was about to say,
I think
when
it's
I
all-
said 50-50, I was like, I think I was
You didn't hear the
really
question,
spot on.
did you?
Oh yeah, I get that. We're on the same page.
We're on the same page now, I agree with
Yeah.
you. So.
No, that's fine. So basically, guys, what we're, just as a bit of a roundup now then, again, thank you guys for being on, but I think the main point that I've picked up on here is that, one, you've got to be motivated and you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to actually believe in your own music. I think the support of local people in a similar genre to you guys is helpful to you guys, but not necessarily massively necessary to help you succeed. But you are having to step outside if you want to be signed by a record label, and that's probably the only thing that Derby's missing. So I think ultimately it comes down to, if you've got the passion and you've got the get up and go, you can find the facilities in Derby, and then it's just branching out to actually get that record deal from another city. If obviously you've had all the facilities to actually create the music, make the music video, and do the production here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That sounds cold. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely, perfect. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll have another debate show coming up soon, so keep your eyes peeled for what that's going to be about. Thank you guys.
Thank you.